And here we are, guys. Paper 1 of the 2014 exam under the level 6. So this is regarded as the more difficult version of the standard level 3 to 5 that was sat back in this year. But anyway, without further ado, I'm going to jump straight into it. So let's go. So as usual, you're only given 30 minutes to answer this test, but we're going to try and narrow it down much quicker. So let's jump straight into it. So question 1, what does it say? So write the missing numbers so that the algebraic equation 2a plus 5b must be 30. 1 is done for you. So using that equation, when a is 0, so this means when we have 2 times 0, so now that is 0, we're left with 5b, that must be 30. So 5 times something is 30, so it must be 6. Easy. Now, when a equals 5, what does b become? So 2 times 5 is 10, so we've got 10 plus 5b is 30. To make this easier, if we just ignore the 10, it's like saying 5b must equal to 20, so it's reduced. So 5 times something is 20, well, the answer will be 4, because 20 divided by 5 is also 4. Last one, when a is 15, now we've got 2 times 15 is 30, plus 5b equals 30. If we ignore the 30, so we reduce it, we have 5b equals 0. So clearly b must be 0, because 5 times 0 is 0. Easy. Number 2. So here are an equilateral triangle and a regular pentagon. So first things first, an equilateral triangle tells us that all sides are the same. So if this is 10, this is 10, and this is 10. And for a regular pentagon, if this is D, then everything is also D. Now, what do we know about these shapes? Each side is 10 for a triangle and each side of the pentagon is D. The perimeter of the pentagon is 4 centimeters more than the perimeter of the triangle. So the total perimeter of pentagon is 4 centimeters bigger than triangle. What does D represent? So if that's the case, that means if we add 4 more to the triangle, so we have 10 plus 10 plus 10 plus 4, this tells us that 34 centimeters of triangle must be equal to the sum of the D's. So if you go 5 D's, it'll be 5D centimeters. I can get rid of the centimeter a second. So 34 must be 5D. What does D represent? So if 5D equals 34, well, we can just divide by 5 to find what 1D is. So D would be 34 divided by 5. Now we just ask ourselves, how many 5s fit into 34? Well, I'll change it to a mixed fraction. So we got, let's see, how many 5s we got? Up to 30, that's 6. So it'll be 6 lost with 4 with a remainder of 4. So it'll be a whole 6 and 4/5. And remember, 4/5 of the decimal is 0.8, so it'll be 6.8. I think this answer is also fine. You don't need to worry too much about it. Okay, so let's move forward. Now, number 3. So here are 5 cards, and then what we have to do is write the missing numbers such that the mean of these cards is 2. Now to calculate the mean, you usually have to add up every single number and divide it by how many digits. Because we've got 5 digits of one unknown, if we add up the first 4, we get 5, 6, and 7. So we have 7 plus an unknown. So let's write 7 plus an unknown. If we were to divide it by 5, we must get 2. In other words, if we didn't have to divide by 5, if we multiply 5 across, we should get a total of 10. Because to get 2, you need to have 10 over 5 gives you 2. So this means the unknown must be 3, because 7 plus 3 is 10. Dividing 10 by 5 gives us a mean of 2. And that's it. Now, again, here are the 5 number cards again. Now, according to this one, it is not possible to write the missing numbers such that the range is 2. Why? The range means the difference between the biggest and the smallest. The biggest number is 4 and the smallest is 1. So it automatically has a range of 3, since the biggest number is 4 and the smallest number is 1. So 4 minus 1 is 3. Doesn't matter what number you use in the card, it's impossible. Okay, number 4. So this one's all about understanding how graphs work and if we can really analyze it. So let's check it out. Alfie and his brother walked from home to their school. Their school is 2 kilometers away from home. So if we look carefully, Alfie seemed to have left at 8 a.m. and then 2 kilometers later, he arrived to his school at 8:30. It's quite far actually. So how does the graph show that Alfie walked at a constant speed for all his journey? Well, it seems to be a constant slope. It seems to have a constant acceleration. So, so acceleration is increasing, so the speed doesn't change. So we can see that there's a perfect speed. It's a straight line. So you can just simply say straight line. Okay, so there's no curves. If there was a curve, meaning it wasn't constant. Now, Alfie's brother left home 10 minutes before Alfie. Okay, so 10 minutes for Alfie means he must have left at 7:50. He arrived at school 20 minutes after Alfie. He also walked at a constant speed for all his journey. At what time did Alfie overtake his brother? So we actually need a ruler for this one. And unfortunately, it'll be a bit difficult. So 20 minutes after Alfie, so he arrived around 8:50. Yet he left at this time. So, so I'm going to have to quickly check this one out. Okay, so what I did, I just moved everything to PowerPoint so I can actually draw a straight line. So using a ruler, literally connect the 2 points together and see what time they overtook. So let's have a look. So I'm going to connect these 2 points. Oh, it's actually quite hard. Sorry, give me a second. Alright, here we go. So according to this one, we can see that he overtook Alfie just after, let me see, zoom in. So we could say just after 8:10, isn't it? Yeah, so just after 8:10 p.m. That would be the answer. So we say overtook just after 8. Right, question 5, guys. So let's check out this probability. So Megan has a bag containing white and black counters. Now, according to this one, there are 20 counters in the bag altogether. So let's just make a note of that, yeah? So 20 in here at this point in time. The probability of choosing a white counter from this bag is 75% or 0.75, which is also the same as 3/4. How many white counters are in the bag? Let's count out how many white and black are in total. So first things first, if 3/4 are white, so let's find 3/4 of 20. Easy way to do this is just to divide it by 4. So 20 over 1/4 of 20 is 5, and then 3 lots of 5 is 15. So we've got 15 whites, meaning we also have 5 blacks, because 15 and 5 make 20. Okay, so how many white counters in the bag? Well, 15. Now Megan decides to add more black counters to the bag. How many black counters must she add so that the probability of choosing a white counter is 0.25? So in other words, she wants at least a certain number of black counters, which is certain times bigger than 0.25. So if the probability of getting a white counter is now 0.25, meaning it must be 0.75 to get black counters. Why? Because probabilities must always add up to 1. You can see this as a ratio of 1 to 3, because this is 3 times bigger. So in other words, what the question is asking is that Megan needs to have 3 times as many blacks than whites. So because there were 15 whites in the bag initially, she will need to have 3 times the number of 15, meaning 3 times 15 should give us 45. So she needs to have, at this stage, 45 blacks to the 15 whites already in the bag. Okay, so this is the kind of thing we're doing right now. So in other words, to get 15, it's more a case of 15 times 3. So first things first, to get 45 blacks, so how many black counters must she add to get this correct probability? So she initially had 5 blacks. She needs to add 40 more to get 45. So the answer would be 40 more blacks. Okay, next. Now, Emma thinks of 2 prime numbers. She adds the 2 numbers together and she gets 36. Write down all the pretty much possible pairs of prime numbers she could be thinking of. So my advice, write every single prime number that goes up to 36. So it would be 2, 3, 5, 7. So remember, prime numbers are numbers that only divide by itself and 1. So 9, nope. And the hint is usually always odd, except the first even number. 11, 13, 15, 17, 19, 21, 23, 27, 29, 31, 33, 35. And that's it. So this is as far as we go. So let's write all the possible pairs to make 36. Okay. So can 2 go in anything? Nope. So we just cancel 2 out automatically. 3 and 6, nope, too small. 5 and 31, yep. So that's done. 7 and 29, yep, that makes 36. That's not you right, 29. Let's cancel that. So 11 and 27, nope, that's way too big. 11 and 23, that makes 34, nope. But 13 and 23, yes, that makes 36. So the idea is to always go back and forth, beginning and end. And then 17, 19, yep, that makes 36. So you should get 4 pairs, okay? Check if there's any more, but I think this should be it. Okay, here we go, a geometry problem. So according to this question, the diagram shows 3 identical isosceles triangles. So they even told us, and they're all identical as well. So all of these are the same. So they could have used the word congruent because that also means the same. Now, because it's isosceles, this implies that 2 of the angles are the same. And just judging by the shape, these 2 look the same. So these 2 are the same, and these 2 are the same. Actually, I should do 3 lengths to make it clear. And I'll do 4 here to make this clear. Okay. Now, given that 1 is 40 degrees, we can calculate the rest of this shape. So what are the sides angles R and T? Let's go ahead and complete this shape, yeah? Let's not worry about the question because we're going to get all of it anyway. So let me just change the color to red. So if this was 40 degrees, we know that all angles must add up to 180 degrees. So this is 40, meaning we got 140 left, meaning half of this is 70 each. Same for here. So this must be 70, 70, and of course the long one's 40, 40, 70, and 70. All right, so this is easy now. So first things first, let's discuss T. So T appears to be on a straight line where we've got T and 70 must make 180. So angles on a straight line adds up to 180. So T plus 70 must be 180. So subtracting 70 should get 110. Now for R, all angles around a point like this point must add up to 360. So you go think of it like that. Okay, and all these angles must add up to 360. So we've already got 370s. So 3 times 70 is 210. So we have 210 plus an R, which must make 360. So to find R, just subtract 210. So this will give us R equals 150 degrees. Okay, again, check guys if you get the same result. 70 plus 110 gives 180. 370s give 70, 140, 210. 210 plus 150 is 360. So that's it. So you can say R is 150 and T is 210, is 110. Moving on. Okay. Question 8. So write the numbers in the box and make this fraction calculation correct. So 1 over something plus something over 5 gives us 7/10. The first thing you want to do, like previously, is to make everything over 10. Okay, so this one, let's have a think. So I would make this one over 10, meaning wherever this answer is now doubled because we doubled it. So let's see. So 1 over something has to be close enough to get the answer. So what I think over here, to get this is 7. Let's have a look. So just a kind of a random selection. We could actually just force this to be 1 over 10. If this is 1 over 10, meaning we need 6 more to make 7. So this needs to be 6 over 10. Because it's over 5, it's going to be 3/5. So 3 times 2 is 6. 6 plus 1 is 7. And that's it. Okay, part B now. So write 2 different numbers to make this calculation correct. So same like the previous, but with other pairing. So another way to do this, since we've already chose 3 out of 5, let's try some smaller numbers, because any numbers like 4/5 will make it bigger than 7/10. Because remember, 4/5 is 8/10, so it's impossible. And I'm guessing they don't want negative numbers. So let's do some trial and error. Let's try 1/5, yeah? So if we chose 1/5, that's the same as, what is it? 2/10, because you double it. This means we need 5/10 more to get 7/10. So 5/10 is the same as, if we simplified it, a half. So yes, a half and 1/5 will make 7/10. And that's it, guys. Well, conveniently, that was done in first go. So for this one, always do trial and error, yeah? Always test what numbers go and what doesn't go. Because usually, that's the best way to move from this. If we were to try 2/5, for example, that's the same as 4/10. So this means we need 3/10 more. And you cannot simplify 3/10, so that's impossible. 3/10 cannot be simplified to 1 over something. It can, but, well, it'll be a decimal. And we're not interested in that. Anyway, let's go. So, question 9. So Jack has 2 square-based pyramids that are the same size. He sticks 2 faces together to make a new 3D shape. How many faces and how many edges does his new 3D shape have? Alright, let's understand this. So let's look at square-based pyramid for a second, just in case to remind ourselves. So this is your typical square-based pyramid. It looks a bit like these. So just judging by this, you always have one square face at the bottom, and then you have a total of 4 triangle faces across, so 1 covering each side going upwards. So that's already 4 plus 1 face. If you were to stick these together, the square faces disappear. So you're left with now 4 triangle faces up and 4 triangle faces down, meaning 8 faces. So this one would be 8 faces. Now as for the edges, firstly, let's remember what edges are. We have vertices, which are the corner. This is the vertex. Edges are just the lines. So this means, let's do some counting here. So if we ignore the square face, we have 1 here, 2, 3, 4. Then we have 5, 6, 7, 8. And now if we stick another triangle, another square base pyramid below, we have an additional 4 more going downwards. So we have 4 plus 4 plus 4, meaning we have 12. So it looks like we have 12 edges. Okay. Double check if you guys get the same result, because this is just counting and sometimes it's quite tricky. Okay, question 10, guys. Let's go. So here we need to write the missing number that makes this entire math statement correct. Now this one looks a bit tricky because of all the division signs. Well, there is a super easy way to do this. First things first, when you divide, let's rewrite this as a fraction, okay? Trust me, it'll be easy that way. So let's write this as 12.5 over this box. Okay, and this must be identical to 7.5 over 1.5. Now, let's go ahead and see what we can solve. So 7.5 over 1.5. So as a fraction, we can always simplify this. The trick is to get rid of the decimal point. And by times in 10, it will be 75 over 15. Easy. So and 75 over 15. Now, what we could say is, can we simplify this? Yes. We can divide up and down by 5. And this should give us, well, doing some quick math, you should get 15 over here and 3 here. And dividing 3 up and down, you should get 5. So actually, all of this part becomes 5. So now we have 12.5 over a box, which equals 5. Now let's make this even more easy. What is the box? Well, if you're to divide something to get an answer, we can also divide the answer to get the unknown number. So we can say that the box must equal 12.5 over 5. And this will give us what we need. Let's work this out. So using some simple division, we can say 5 into 12.5. Well, easy. First things first, 5 into 12. Well, that goes exactly twice, so remainder 2. And then 5 into 25 goes 5 times. And that's it. 12.5 over 5 is exactly 2.5 times bigger. So, voila. We are done. Alright, number 11. So, diagram shows a shaded triangle inside a rectangle. So, the rectangle here measures 6 by 10. And one of the lengths of this triangle is 5. What is the area of the shaded region? Okay, this is quite hard to work out by itself, but the way to do this, we need to think of this as one whole triangle that includes both. So let's find the area of the whole shape, of this shape, from the one corner to the end. And if we did that, we can then find the area of this white triangle here, and then subtract the whole shape from the white triangle, and we should be left with the blue triangle. So let's do that. So the whole shape would be 10 across and 6 up. Now the area of a triangle is always half times base times height. So this is the area of a triangle. So we can say base times height. So 10 times 6 is 60. Half of 60 is 30. So the area is 30. Now let's take just the white bit here. Okay. So we can see that if this length is cut to 4 and the whole thing is 10, meaning the remainder here is 6. Now of course we know that height is also 6. So 6 by 6 is 36. And then find the area, we need to half it. So it's going to be half of 36, which is 18. So this means that the blue part is going to be the difference between 30, the whole thing, and 18, meaning it must be 12. And that's it. The area is 12. Quite easy actually, compared to what we've been doing. Question 12. Okay, so Alfie did a survey to find which soup was the most popular option. Now, the choices were tomato, chicken, and mushroom. Okay, let's have a look now. Apparently, a quarter of the children chose chicken soup. 4 times as many children chose tomato soup as chose mushroom soup. Now, Alfie decides to make a pie chart. So let's firstly draw a pie chart ourselves here. Let's try and visualize this. So firstly, a quarter chose chicken. This means 3/4 chose between tomato and mushroom. Now it tells us here that 4 times as many children chose tomato soup, then chose mushroom. So if we were to distribute 3/4 as 4 lots as, let's call this x, as in x lot went to mushroom. So it's always good to use algebra, and 4 times as many mushrooms were tomato. So in other words, 4 lots of the pupils chose tomatoes and 1 lot chose mushroom. This means a total of, if we combine them, 5x chose 3/4. If we add them together, this means 5x equals 3/4. And yeah, so this is a perfect representation. This is a combination of both parts representing the total of 3/4. We can now say then x, 1x, if we define 1x, we would have to divide it by 5. So it'd be 3/4 divided by 5, which is 3/20. When you divide by 5, you just multiply the bottom half. Now 3/20 represent x. This means that for tomato, which is 4x, this would be 4 times bigger. So 3 over 20 times 4 would be 12/20. And that is the same if you reduce it to 3/5. Now, what angle should you use for children chose tomato soup? So tomato soup would be 3/5, okay, of the whole pie chart. Now we could just say, we know that pie chart adds up 360, so we can say 3/5 of 360 degrees would represent the angle. Remember, off means times. So we can just say, firstly, find 1/5. 1/5 of 360 is 72 degrees. Remember, just do 5 into 360. This should give us, well, 5 into 36 goes 7 times, remainder 1, and 5 into 10 goes twice. Nope, don't care about that. And because it's 3/5, well, you multiply by 3. And this now gives us, well, 72 times 3, so 70 times 3 is 210. 2 times 3 is 6, so 216. And that's it. The angle that represents this is 216 degrees. Ooh, definitely a bit tricky, isn't it? And of course, chicken is 90, and well, the other one, what was it? Mushroom would be 4 times smaller. Yep, that's it. Let's go. Now finally, question 13. Oh my god, I'm getting tired. So here is a square on a coordinate axis. C is the center of the circle. Find the coordinates of P and Q. Okay, pretty basic. Now one thing to know is that C is actually the midpoint, technically. So if you move it across to the left, we can see that it's traveled, at least from the y-axis, from 20 down to -5. This means it's dropped a total of 20 and a 5 more, so 25. So the midpoint would be 25 down. This means if you're going to go another 25 down, you'll land exactly to P. So to get from here to here, we need to drop exactly a total of 50. So it means P must be still on the same x point, because it's still on the same -12, but it's gone down by 50 more, so it should be -30. 20 take away 50 is -30. As for Q, well, we know it's still on the -30 line, so as the y-axis, it's still on -30 because it's on the same height. However, let's see how far I traveled across. Going back to the midpoint, from -12 to 13, well, we need to see the difference. First, you need to get to 0, which is 12 more, plus another 13. This will make a total of 25 across. So actually, oh yeah, of course, it's going to be 25. It's a square. If it's 25 here, meaning it's 25 across, meaning it's a total of 50. So you need to add 50 more to -12. So the way I do this, I just say 50 take away 12, and that should give us the same thing, and that would be 38. And that's it, guys. I think this marks the end of the paper. So just put your answers here. So P is minus 12 minus 30. Q is 38 on the positive axis and 30 down on the y-axis. And that's it, guys. I hope this video helped, and let me know if you want me to make any more. If any questions were unclear, such as maybe 12 or any algebra one,